Kay is still on with us for the last 15 minutes. We are in the home stretch. So we've talked a lot about like the music that you've done, but people are starting to know you a little bit more for like the vlog series that you have. Mm-hmm. Whose idea was that? Was it something that someone said, "Oh, you should start doing this," or was it more of like,
"Oh, you're cutting out, man"?
Can you hear me now? She's still there?
Not really. You're cutting out.
All right, we'll try to get her back in a second. We are in the middle of like a thunderstorm, so our power has been spotty at best. Kay, are you back?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, like so we're in the middle of a severe thunderstorm warning. Like it is really bad outside, and there was a lightning bolt that just came down. So like the power here hasn't been the greatest. Okay, now back to the original question of like the vlog series. Was that your idea? Did someone say, or was it your idea to start this, or did someone say, "Hey, you should start doing this"?
Well, I made it like one day. I made a video. I don't even remember what it was. I think it was like me goofing around, like dancing in my room or singing in the shower or something stupid like that. And I was like, I don't want to put this on my music channel because like it has nothing to do with that. So I was like, oh, I'll just make another channel. And so that's kind of where the vlogging thing started. Was just with a fun little random video that had nothing to do with my other stuff.
And of course, it spawned kind of like a side thing for you to do.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Do you have an idea of what you're going to talk about next time, or is it more of a emotional? I'm feeling this today, so we're going to talk about blah blah blah.
Well, it's kind of like what inspires me to like help other people, like especially like on the internet. You've got like websites like Tumblr where all it is people expressing their feelings through pictures or blog posts or whatever. And so a lot of the times I'll just see something, or someone will ask me, they're like, "Hey, I'm dealing with this. I need your advice." And I'm like, "You're probably not the only one dealing with that. I should make this a video." So that's kind of where the talk videos come from.
And it it's just kind of sparked its own series. And of course, he did talk about My Chemical Romance breaking up.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people, like myself included, were like, they haven't done anything in a long time, so I kind of forgot that they were still together.
Yeah.
So, when you're writing music and when you're making music, I mean, like the metal people in general have kind of been given like this unfair stigma that we're just like these sad, angry people that just hate everyone and everything. And then, of course, you have groups like Memphis Mayfire that are doing their best to, like, just kind of get rid of that... what's the word I'm looking for? Try and get rid of that, like that negative pessimist stigma. I mean, do you feel that it's something that over the years can be changed, or do you feel that the genre in general has just been kind of stuck there and it's not going to get out?
Well, I mean, like... Post-hardcore really started with bands like From First to Last, Hawthorne Heights, Fall Out Boy a little bit, but they're like more like alternative rock. But I think that because they started out like how they were and like the lyrics they wrote, which were like "cut my wrists and black my eyes," like Hawthorne Heights classic line, and like so that kind of gave metal a bad name, if you will. But now you've got bands like you said, Memphis Mayfire, Of Mice and Men, whose lyrics have literally saved so many people's lives. And like Austin Carlisle is one of the biggest inspirations in the industry, and he's one of the nicest guys. And I don't know if you know this, but recently he did an interview for a tour that they're doing that's coming up, and there was a girl that passed away that was a member of the Of Mice and Men like fan base, and she died of cancer. And when he found out she died, he went and got her name tattooed on his knee, just to. Like,
and that is hardcore. That is hardcore.
Just to, like, show support for his her family and stuff. And it's bands like that are really changing this industry and like giving kids something to hope for, and not just giving them like this bad stereotype or like to like keep them in this dark place. Like they're trying to like get people out and show them that they're not alone, and that like there are other people like them.
And of course, you know, that there are the people that kind of perpetuate that, and like I'm not going to name names, but Ronnie Radke. I mean, it's it's like I actually told you off the air about that. I actually had a friend that went to school here last year. She transferred to I don't know when. We didn't really talk a whole lot, but like we met at freshman orientation, and she's like, "Well, I listened to blah blah blah." I was like, it was like an okay. Like, have you met anybody? He's like, yeah, I met Ronnie Radke. How was he? He's like, oh, he is horrible. I mean, it's like, have you had any bad experiences with a group? Because I'm sure it's not all pleasant. I mean, not everyone is going to like everybody. Have you had bad experiences at shows with bands, with people that watch your stuff? I mean, it exists. So, like, is that...
Of course.
Can you tell us a story about that?
I've never really had any... Actually, I have had one bad experience. When right after I performed with Motionless in White, I was like, I'm not going to go back out in the crowd when I could hang out backstage all day, obviously, because I didn't have a pass or anything. So I was just like, I'm going to stay back here. So I was walking around, and I saw this guy sitting down. He was eating lunch with, I don't know, one of the bands. And I, like, kind of recognized him, but I didn't really know who it was at first. And, like, after a few minutes, I kind of was like, is that him? Like, is that? And then he stood up, and I was like, that's gotta be him. It was Jeffree Star. And I was like, I don't really listen to Jeffree Star's music, but, like, I know who he is. He's, like, an icon for I don't even know what genre his music would really be. It's, like, blood on the dance floor kind of music. And, kind of like techno, metal.
I think the term for that is industrial, but keep going.
Yeah, okay, yeah, thank you. So I wanted to say something. I wanted to be like, hey, what's up? I know who you are, like, kind of like that. And so we, like, crossed paths, and I was like, Jeffree Star, you're beautiful. And he just kind of, like, shrugged his shoulders, and he was like, ugh. And I was like, wow. Like, why are you such a diva? So that's like...
I don't think he knew how to respond. I mean, it's just like, okay, random person backstage. I mean...
Yeah, I don't know. And then the only other time that something, like, kind of weird, I guess, has happened was right after Soundwave, when I, like, hung out with Memphis Mayfire and, like, met Austin Carlisle and whatever. It was an awesome show. The bands were actually staying a block from my house. And
barbecue?
I was heading to school. Sorry?
Do you have a barbecue for him?
I was going to, actually. I invited them to come play pool.
Did it work?
But, no, they had to leave. They had to get on the airplane. But, so yeah, I was walking to school, and all of a sudden, like, Maddie Mullins and Kellen Quinn were sitting outside on a bench, and I was like, oh my god, I should say hi. So I kind of walked over, and Maddie was like, Kay, hey, what's up? And then he looked at Kellen, he was like, Kellen, this is my friend Kay, she does YouTube videos. And Kellen was like, oh, okay, cool. And I was like, oh, you're not in a good mood, okay.
It's just, so before Soundwave, which I think was like 2 months ago, last month?
Yes, I think March.
It was the last month. Have you met Matty before, or did you meet him at Soundwave? Like, did you know him before that?
Yeah, I met him, like, when I was getting ready to go play with Motionless in White. He was, like, back there with his band, just hanging out, warming up a little bit. And actually, the bass player, Corey Elder, he recognized me, and he was like, Maddie, like, she does covers on YouTube, let's go say hi. So they walked over, and they were like, hey, aren't you Kay from YouTube? Didn't you cover, like, some of our songs? And I was like, you're Maddie Mullins and, like, Corey Elder. Like, do you realize that that's, like, a huge deal? So that's when I met them, and now every time, like I said, every time that I've seen them, which has only been, twice, but both times Maddie's, like, waved at me, and he's pointed me out, and he's like, hey, what's up? And then when I met him at Soundwave, when they had their signing, he was like, I love seeing you, like, in the front row every time, like, pouring your heart out. And I was like, I love you, dude, you're such an inspiration. But, like, a little fangirl moment, you know what I mean?
I mean, like, everybody, like, has, like, those awestruck moments. Have you ever been underwhelmed when you met somebody, when it wasn't quite how you thought it was going to be? Like, you met...
Yeah, I mean, like, but it's still one of those moments where you're like, wow, like, this is such an awesome experience. I get to meet this person. But, like, you've probably heard the stories of, like, people meeting Austin Carlisle of Mice and Men. Like, they're, like, crying, and he comes over and he, like, does something special. Like, he hugs them, or he tells them they matter or something. And, like, when I met him, I was like I didn't have like that crazy kind of crying moment, like, you know what I mean? But I met him and I was like, hey man, like I know we can't like take pictures, but can I get a hug? And he was like, yeah, of course. And he like put everything down and hugged me, and like it wasn't like I've never had like a moment where they haven't lived up to like their, I don't know, like what they're known for, I guess. But like I think Austin Carlisle especially, he gets so many people that look up to him, and he does everything he can to like give back and show that he supports every one of his fans, and like every one of us means something to him. And so I think that's kind of unique for this and for music in general, because you've got like the musicians that are so egotistic and like they don't care. Like, I mean, like for example, Ronnie Radke, or I've heard Oliver Sykes of Bring Me the Horizon is kind of a douche, but I don't know, I guess
I've never met, and the only person that I've personally like met was like that person who told me that they met Ronnie, and like he was I'll tell you the full story about it like when we're off air, because I can't say half of it while we're on here. But I'm gonna get you out of here on this last question. You've said in your videos that you've helped, that you've literally saved people's lives, and that you've literally helped people. Is it something that people have told you that happened, or is it something that you just like, okay, somebody somewhere saw this and I think that happened? Is it something that you think happened, or has someone personally told you that's like, thank you for what you did because you helped me out of X, Y, and Z?
Yeah, every day I get messages on my Facebook page or sent to my email, because I leave like my email in the sidebar of my YouTube channel for like questions or whatever. And I've had like people's moms email me and they're like, thank you so much, what you're doing like saved my daughter's life, literally. And it's gone so far as there was a girl that sent me a picture, and it was like a little tattoo drawing. It was like a little wolf, because like I call my fans like the Screaming Wolf Pack, because like we're like a family, whatever. And it's one of those cheesy little things. I didn't really know what to like refer to them as, because I don't like calling them fans, because I don't know, because I don't feel
it's kind of an ambiguous term.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Something a little more personal.
Yeah, so like there was like this wolf tattoo, and then it had my initials, like my first initial and my last initial of my name, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. I can't believe somebody would get a tattoo. And the girl that sent it to me said, this was my best friend. She just passed away of like, I think she had cancer. And she was like, you saved her life and you helped her like get through this rough time of cancer. And like, I just want to thank you so much for that. So it's like moments like that where I realize that what I'm doing matters to somebody, whether it's one person, whether it's like 10,000 people, like something I'm saying is getting to somebody, and that's why I continue making videos.
Do you remember the first time that happened? The first time that you got that feedback from somebody saying thank me from what you were just saying? Like, do you remember the first time it happened?
I think, yeah, it was like 2 years ago when somebody actually walked up to me like on the street, and they were like, your videos saved my life, like. And I was like, wow, you first of all, they came up to me out of nowhere. I was like, I don't even know where I was, like at a mall or something. And they took the time to like walk up to me and like take the time out of their day just to come over and say hi and thank me for that. And like, I don't know, it's really humbling when people tell me that what I'm doing means something to them.
And of course, you have like your own merchandising line. If people wanted to buy something of yours, where would they go to do that?
Well, I'm going between a bunch of different like options right now, but currently, if you go to District Lines, that's like the big YouTubers, they all have their merch on here. So districtlines.com/K the Female Screamer. They can, I don't know, pick up a shirt if they want to, or they can donate to my PayPal. Like, it's whatever. Like, I'm not asking for people's money, but if they want something, like, by all means, go ahead and get something.
And that, of course, is the best thing to come out of Australia since Steve Irwin. And it's not going to be, and she's not going to be anywhere near stingrays. At least I hope so.
Way.
K, and I'm going to butcher this so bad. K, Enagonio.
Oh, you did it pretty well, man.
I'll take that. I'll take that.
Right.
And then, of course, if you want to get a hold of her, she'll have a website coming up called justaletterk.com. It's kind of awesome. I'm a little biased because I'm kind of making it. But in the next week or two, that's going to be up. So all of her stuff is going to be there. So, Kate, thanks for taking the hour and a half out of your. Well, I guess it's morning where you are now. The whole time zone thing is just really messing with my head. This has been the best hour and a half that I've had in a while. And since My Chemical Romance broke up, I think it's fitting that we end with them. And I'm going to sign off here with Helena here on the Electric Circus, and I will see you next Tuesday night from 8 to 9:30 p.m. Thanks for listening.